Lillard has it. Down the lane.
What are y'all doing? You couldn't even get a shot up?
Oh my god.
Giannis dropped 38 points and 20 boards, but when it mattered the most, he didn't want the ball. And he's frustrated. And the Bucks saw this coming, even though they were title favorites to start the year. The 8th seed Heat beat the number 1 seed Bucks. The Bucks had the best record in the NBA, and during the regular season, when leading after the third quarter, they had the best record at 51-3. But in both games 4 and 5, the Bucks collapsed. And Giannis now joins Dirk Nowitzki and Tim Duncan as one of 6 number 1 seeds in NBA history to lose to the 8th seed. Now, you could give the Bucks a pass for game 1. Giannis got hurt 10 minutes into the game. Game 3 without Giannis, the Bucks looked lost. And maybe that injury is a reason why Giannis looked off in game 5. Probably more to do with the 13 missed free throws. Yeah, 13.
No skill at all.
But that doesn't excuse what we saw at the end of game 5, because it's been a question for a long time. This whole indie clutch, Middleton has to run the show because Giannis is incapable. We saw a dichotomy. On one end, there was Jimmy Butler, determined to get the Heat by and hunted for the ball in the last 5 minutes. And then we had Giannis, who was scared of the ball. Fans might be taking it too far though. I've many times talked about Giannis not getting his proper recognition. We've talked about him being a face of the league that for his xenophobic reasons doesn't happen. But we still hold Giannis to high standards. He's considered by many to be the best player in the world. But what about defending Butler? And when Bam was destroying Brook Lopez up on top in the 4th quarter, why didn't Giannis guard Bam? Especially when mid-game, Butler's telling Jrue Holiday that I own you. Yeah, Butler said that while down 5. Man's a psycho. A few minutes later, he's pointing at the Jumbotron saying, on your head. And if you're liking the content, subscribe, because over 75% of you aren't. Trying to hit 1 mil in 2023 and just want to have important discussions with y'all, plus 2 important videos coming next week. Now, Giannis said he wishes he guarded Butler more, but Butler shot 86% against him in this series. Still, get more creative than having Giannis stuck on a floor spacer, Kevin Love. Giannis is a former defensive player of the year. Use him. And if you don't want to use Giannis, double more, switch up the plan, anything. But this isn't the first time Giannis isn't stuck guarding the best player. It's deja vu from 3 years ago.
You guard him?
Yeah.
No, I didn't. Why would you ask that? No, I'll do whatever Coach said me to do.
When the Raptors were down 2-0 to the Bucks in 2019, Kawhi walked into the locker room and said, the adjustment is I'm guarding Giannis. And then they proceeded to win 4 straight. So sometimes stars just have to take the assignment. That's a I'm him moment. But the Bucks didn't make it any easier. And the scary thing is, we all saw this coming. And this issue goes back for years. What is up, dudes, dudettes, ballers, players? It's your boy MJ. Now, you're gonna hear a lot of takes about Giannis not being that guy. About him only being a run and dunk man.
I wish I could just run and with 7 feet and run and just dunk.
And recency bias is going to be used to get a lot of takes on. But be real for 1 second. The Bucks collapse wasn't just Giannis. The Bucks allowed Butler to get a wide open 3 here, which he misses. They can't properly inbound the ball. Jrue Holiday misses a free throw. Coach Bud doesn't call a timeout after his Butler make. What are you doing, bro? I get it though. Giannis got a Nike campaign after a loss?
It's like, what the hell?
Yet it still falls on Giannis and Coach Bud to corral their team when they're unhinged. Giannis should be the one stepping up. Coach Bud makes no adjustment. We've been saying that for nearly a decade. Budenholzer learned from Greg Popovich, who has called adjustments overrated. Let's look at that trend. And we saw it again. The Bucks went up 16 with Giannis demanding the ball in the post, running in transition, and Middleton operating more on the perimeter. So why did you go away from that? Look after the Bucks went up 16. They didn't do a single Middleton Giannis pick and roll as the Heat cut into the lead by 8 in the first 4 minutes. Why didn't you do a single Giannis post-up? Instead, in a half-court setting, it was a Giannis ISO? I'm also sorry to hear what's happening with Budenholzer's family, wishing nothing but the best. And maybe that's why there are some lapses in judgment. We're only going to focus on the basketball side of things. The Bucks and Heat have faced off in the playoffs 3 times in 4 seasons. The Heat beat the Bucks in 2020, holding holding Giannis to 22 points a night, stripping him, slowing his transition. But in 2021, Giannis developed a postgame. There was an actual half-court offense that works with Giannis running the show against the Heat, who have Bam Adebayo and other quick wing defenders that can push Giannis just enough to stop him from running and dunking. But even then, Giannis only averaged 23.5 points on 45% from the field. Not great. Butler was also just horrible, averaging 14.5 points on 30% from the field. Yeah, the one blemish.
What happened?
Giannis is the most dominant player in the NBA. There is no debate on that, yet his game isn't complete. And that is okay if the thing you're dominant at is so overpowering that no one can stop you. An NBA offense should be designed to put your best player in the best position to win. For example, the Heat with Butler will oftentimes clear out, run a pick and roll, have a guy run under hoop to pull a defender away from the rim, giving Butler more space to drive, or at the bare minimum, have space to take a mid-range. This doesn't make it easy, but it makes it easier for Butler to play to his strengths. The Heat are also not your typical 8 seed. No one wanted to play this team. We've seen players talk about one game in the series being enough to gain momentum. Game 1, when Giannis went down, was enough to give Butler and the Heat more hope that they could upset the Bucks and play with a different level of urgency. And Butler going off nearly every other game. Might make sense to pick him in Prize Picks, the sponsor of today's video. It's you against numbers, and you can win up to 25 times your money on any entry. You've seen me crush it 9 times with him so far. It's daily fantasy made super easy. Pick 2 6 players, and if they will score more or less their Prize Picks projection, you get paid. Wiggins has been more consistent, so I picked him more than 17.5. And with Fox's injury, I thought it might be more difficult, so I went with less than 24.5. And game 5, we hit, just barely. Game 6 was another story, and we got a game 7. And the Knicks in the second round, we up. Sadly, no more Giannis. Picks can be made in 60 seconds or less. It's that easy. All first-time users that deposit and use the promo code MJ2K will receive a 100% instant deposit match up to $100. So download Prize Picks and play daily fantasy sports with us. Make sure you use the promo code MJ2K when you sign up. Tell me which player you have faith in the comments down below and play responsibly. Butler averaged 37.6 points on 60% from the field, 44% from 3. Literally one of the best playoff series performances we've ever seen.
No freaking way.
But people still believed in Giannis and the Bucks to come back down 3-1. And Ernie did, but you're not going to win with Jrue Holiday shooting, wait, am I reading this correctly? 40% from the field and 29% from 3? What? So you getting 40 dropped on your head and can't score a lick? That's tough. This isn't new. Jrue has had some horrible shooting series.
Oh, hell no.
This is the same Bucks team that in 2022 went to 7 games against the Celtics without Middleton. The same series, they were up 3-2 and collapsed. We've seen Giannis be clutch in the right situations. Remember against the Nets in Game 7? Jrue Giannis pick and roll, giving Giannis a runway to finish, or even directly giving it to Giannis in the post right here. Attacking, but also waiting for a double. The double doesn't come, so hook shot over Durant. Even here, Middleton pick and roll with Giannis. KD can't help off Giannis who's rolling, gets stuck in between him and Middleton gets a step to his mini. And in the 2021 finals, Giannis was hitting post fadeaways, mid-range pull-ups, shooting at a higher mid-range rate than Embiid. Think about Game 6 against the Suns. Giannis is fighting for posted position, trying to get a mismatch and seal in the paint. This isn't the perimeter guard-centric clutchness we've grown accustomed to seeing with Jordan, Kobe, LeBron, KD, Steph, but Giannis is a power forward. You have to set him up, but if you do, he becomes nearly unstoppable. This video isn't meant to excuse Giannis, it's meant to add context. Giannis isn't just a run and dunk man anymore. Not only has he developed multiple ways of scoring, but he's also become a much better playmaker. But let's talk about the free throws, because what is that? One of the reasons we've even seen LeBron shy away from late game drives over the years was not always being confident in his free throw. Being able to make free throws at a normal 75% rate is almost a necessity for a superstar down the stretch. Giannis shot worse than Shaq in Game 5, and for the guy that continues to work on his game and add something new every year, where it's handles, post-game passing, being unable to improve at the free throw line for his entire career, heck, regressing this year, shooting 64.5% from the line in the regular season, that's where there needs to be accountability. And in the playoffs, nearly every year, his free throws have gotten worse.
It's like, what the hell?
In their championship run, Giannis shot 59% from the line, last year 68%, this year 45%. If we're talking about failure, this season is a failure. I understand where Giannis is coming from. This season isn't for nothing. You're always working towards something, but if the expectation is to at least get to their conference finals, it's a failure, even if it is out of your control with injuries. And Giannis didn't look like he was better in any key area. Yet he's also not putting any blame on any other teammate or in the news for leaving the Bucks. No, he continues to fight with the team. Man was about to retire in 2020. While a lot of people have concerns for this Bucks roster, I do too, but just not for next season. What I mean by that is, surrounding Giannis right now are pieces that I actually think are good fits. Barring the unrealistic Bucks get Dame, Brook Lopez is a floor spacing big. Chris Middleton is a sniper that can create a shot at an above average level. Ideally, you would want a more efficient point guard, someone that when Giannis passes out to, it's an automatic bucket. However, Jrue is one of the best perimeter defenders in the NBA. Brook Lopez might finish runner-up for Defensive Player of the Year. I'm not about to sit here and say that Giannis doesn't have help, cause he does. Brook is 35 years old, Middleton is 31 years old, Jrue is 32. Giannis is the second youngest player on the team that consistently gets minutes in the playoffs. The Bucks literally have the oldest roster in the NBA. Jay Crowder out here complaining about his role when he's just been inconsistent. With Giannis having 2 years left on his contract, it forces the Bucks to be a bit more on the timeline and responsible in building the best team. But I'd want to see what an offense not designed by Budenholzer would look like. It's up to the Bucks to deliver. The all-day notification shout out goes to Mr. Sweat. Thanks for the all-day support. And if you want to know how the Clippers' worst nightmares coming true, there's a video right here. And if you're still here, you'll really want to comment forward so I know. It's your boy MJ. We out.